Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange
starts now.
Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange
starts now.
Artist Exchange.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It is me, Nate, coming to you from the virtual world of the Artist Exchange Media Hub. We are back. This is the first episode of season 11 of the Artist Exchange podcast now. Well, now the podcast. I have been kind of in and out doing some special interviews and working with people like Troy Burton for his productions and doing some on-the-scene interviews. And you'll see more of me doing that throughout the season. So we'll be interluding with some personal interviews with some other productions. Troy has something he cooking up. And then I'll be doing the marketing for the Arena Players, where I will be interviewing a number of the cast members for all of their shows for this 71st season. And if you are a production company or a theater company or movie, TV even, and you want that type of marketing support for your programming or your content, definitely hit me up, the Artist Exchange Media Hub, or TAE Media Hub at gmail.com, and we can work it out and get it done and get you together. But today we have none other than Morgan State University's Fine Art Department coming on to talk about a brand new initiative they have. They are building, rather, in the name of Dr. Shirley Basfield Dunlap. They are jumping out with I'm going to let them talk about it because I don't want to get it wrong. But I know they're doing a scholarship fund in her name. And what a great name that should be in at Morgan State University. And without further ado, I'm going to bring these ladies on. We have Miss Symphony, actress, singer, party, energizer extraordinaire. Then we have Miss Short, Miss Janice Short of Morgan State University. And I believe you are, I'm going to let her say it.
The coordinator of theater arts.
The coordinator of theater arts. And then we have Miss Stacie Dunlap, the daughter of our marvelous Dr. Shirley Basfield Dunlap. And she's going to talk a little bit about her mom and how we're moving forward with her legacy and such. So without further ado, I'm going to bring these young ladies on and we're going to get to talking. How y'all doing today?
Doing well.
Yes. So I'm going to start with Miss Short. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. I'm excited because this is a great topic and this is a great show. And I have great company to talk about it.
Last time I saw you, you were in the studio with me, but we all virtual now. We're trying to keep up with technology and such.
Yes.
So can you first of all just set the table for us? Let us know why we're here today.
So we're here because the title of your show is perfect. It says, "In loving memory of Dr. Shirley Basfield Dunlap." And in her honor, there is a scholarship that we want to launch this. We want to get this going. We want to be able to provide scholarships for students. Shirley did, which it was worth more than money, more than scholarship money. So if you were a student of her, or if you were someone and you worked with her, you got that. But we have a scholarship that has been started. It's an endowed scholarship fund. So we decided, hey, let's throw a ball. Let's throw a masquerade ball because that's Shirley. We call it Renaissance Royale because it's grand and she was grand. So it's the masquerade ball and a scholarship launch all in one and a party.
Okay. And we like a party. We like a good party.
Yeah.
So what brought this on, or because Ms. Dunlap has been gone from us for a couple years, was this a build up to this? I know you all have been doing a lot of rebuilding and a lot of restructuring in that department.
Yeah, we've been doing several things. Um, we started on the scholarship. We started on we dedicate some things to her, but it's gotten to that point where we're like, we really need to do something big, something larger for her. In the future, I think there's something even bigger that's coming down the pike. But right now, we really want to launch that scholarship so that the students who are incoming, they hear it from us all the time. They hear stories about her and who she was. They get to see her portrait like this that's on my shirt. We have a large portrait in the department that hangs there in the window. And so we tell the students all the time about her and who she was. But right now, we really want to do something that she would do. We would put our money where our mouths are.
She definitely is deserving of it. Mama
Yes.
Jackie Terry says, "Good evening, sisters.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How you doing, Mama Jackie?" But I was really excited as soon as I saw it online. I think I actually saw it on Tracy's page, where y'all were talking about it, and just to see something be done for Ms. Dunlap is definitely is great. We have a lot of great artists in the city, but she was definitely one that was about the business of Black theater and pushing forward that Black message and Black artists. The last time I spoke to her, it was definitely I think y'all did a workshop there for the young lady who wrote the book on Black acting styles, and I just saw how excited she was to just support this young lady and bring that information to us, because I'm from Coppin, but she welcomed us over there as well. She was always open, and I used to love when her and Professor Courts used to switch classes or cover for each other, and that's how I first met her, when she covered for one of Professor Courts' classes, and I fell in love in that moment. I loved her truth. I love her dedication to her craft, and beyond just being on a college level, she definitely pursued her own career. So it's always great to have an educator who is not only telling you about it, but they're doing what they're telling you at the same time. So that was definitely, I had to have you all on to support this cause and do whatever I could do to support you all. And we're gonna go around to Miss Symphony, graduate of Morgan State University.
Yes. Definitely. When I think about Morgan, I think about theater. I can't help but to think about Dr. Dunlap. I always tell the story when I first came. She was the coordinator. She was the one that's guiding me what classes to choose. I left school and I came back again. Then she became a great auntie to my children. Like, I had children. I left, came back again, and then she became by the time I graduated, finally, she was my mentor. So to be able to know her in so many facets has really enriched my life personally, but definitely in the theater.
So are you involved in this program? Are you performing at all? I saw some performances happening.
I am actually performing as one of the alumni participants. We have a fun-filled night planned, and what I will tell you is that all of those shows that Dr. Dunlap directed, and we know that that's a lot. We try to find a way to highlight them however we could. So there'll be all types of performances from her past, and I will share that I'm doing something for the That was my last performance when I was at Morgan before I graduated with her. That not my last, but that coming out of retirement performance. I had been out of school and I came back and I auditioned. So that's the one that I think holds near for me, because what she shared with me about that is she said she did not have a vote in it. She let the musical director have a say. She let the acting coach have a say, the vocal coach, the music. So it was like that's so much to me, because she was the only one besides one other person that I knew in the room at the time. So after being out of school all those years and coming back, taking the chance and to know. And she said, "You still got it. like this is the time to hit it. And from that point on, I jumped back in there, and she's always been a support for me.
I love hearing that. So that means we're gonna get a little Eveline action going on.
Probably
Little
so.
tape.
I might live a little Dorothy dream that I never
Oh,
got. Who
okay,
knows?
okay. Show your range, show your range. But I love that. So I definitely gotta come now. She performing. Because I just saw when I went to Eventbrite, I saw it's gonna be some performances and such. So
Yeah.
I can't wait to see and take part. Is the choir gonna be there?
Is the choir? No, but I think
Possibly.
people. The thing is,
Don't say no. Could be, maybe. Don't say no.
right, and it's definitely going to be an array of. I'm most excited about the new and some of the old merging together. So it'll be some people you'll be happy to see, but it'll be some people you'll be so happy to see that you've never seen before. So that's what I'm looking forward to myself. Hey, Mary. Mary.
It's Andrea.
Yes.
Hi.
Are we gonna get a little two-step from Miss Mary? What's going on? Just recruit everybody. And last but certainly not least, this is my first time meeting you, and I am excited to have you on. Tracy told me you would be awesome and would love to come on and talk. So I'm glad this all worked out with you. So can you introduce yourself and let us know who you are?
Yes. So I'm Stacie Dunlap. I am the firstborn of my mother.
Okay.
So my involvement has really just been in this whole thing. It's just been trying to support, whatever you need, whatever they ask of me. I'm really there. I'm not performing. You don't want me to. I didn't get that. I didn't get that gift.
But we always
But
need patrons. We always need a patron.
right, exactly. So I am just really wanting this whole scholarship to just be a success. So that's where I am. I'm just here to push it forward, make it happen, and just have it come into fruition, because this is something that it actually started around the time, shortly after I lost my mother. So this is not something new, but we've really relaunched it because we want to make sure that it's funded and that it continues to support Morgan students over the years. So
What would your dream be, thinking forward, in terms of honoring that legacy of your mother?
My dream would be that the funds are able to support students who are wanting to be in theater, and those that are considering it. But one of the things that my mother would always say is, a lot of people don't think theater is like a safe, career. So those that are kind of wanting to explore it are able to kind of take that step and move forward and be able to experience and expose themselves to the theater world through the money that's being supported through the scholarship. So I really would like this to not only support those that are know what they want, but also are kind of curious, because one thing that I do know, I didn't go to Morgan, but I knew a lot of people, and a lot of people on my Facebook timeline are from Morgan, but a lot of them will be like communication majors, but maybe a minor in theater, or math, maticians, and so it's like, everyone just kind of has that curiosity about theater, or that desire to kind of have their foot in the arts or just experience the arts. And I would love for the scholarship to be able to open the opportunity for those to be able to experience that.
And I'm gonna throw that question to both you, Symphony, and Miss Short. What would you want to see that legacy grow into, or what other ways would you like to see this pronounced or showcased?
Well, for me, definitely to have an alumni portion where alumni are actually coming together to be able to put into the scholarship fund. Just briefly, my last time at Morgan, when I came back in 2018, there was a leftover bill from like years and years and years ago that was like a couple of $1,000s. And that was holding me up from going back to school. And Dr. Dunlap was like, look, let me call Eric, Dr. Conway, let me see what I can do. But in the meantime, she had put up her own personal fund to just make sure it happened. And if she got anything back on the back end, I don't know. But she was just like, don't worry about it. She called me like 2 hours later and said that I did talk to him. There's a partial of the foundation from the flyer for you, but come and get this check. And so that always stuck with me because that was my last year yet, my graduating year. And I did not have that at that time going forward. So for me to know that I can make things happen for others like that, I mean, I'm an artist, so I'm looking at even ways where I can speak to individual artists and see what we can do as Baltimore artists in the community to come together and, be able to at least send 1 to 2 students a semester through with college. I've been already doing that and looking forward to it growing and actually it being something because, like I told them, I said, we're all, if we all pitch in, then nobody can say I don't have it or I can't do that right now because whatever we do, if we come together collectively, it can happen. And so that's
Right.
what I'm driving toward, like individual artists, especially Morgan alone. Even if they were, like Stacie said, math majors and other, if you participated in the show, if you knew Dr. Dunlap, any way that he impacted your life or the theater department, then what can you do to partner with me and other artists to be able to send somebody else?
And if you can move over a little, I think I see your left a little bit. You kind of we're losing you a little bit. Not to bring politics into this, but a lot of people are speaking badly about HBCUs and how and what their significance is, and that's definitely one of the threads that go through a lot of people's experience at HBCU. Not to say it doesn't happen at other schools, but specifically there, our schools were meant to nurture us and give us those opportunities. So hearing that somebody like a Dunlap lent, and I'm sure you wasn't the only student. I'm sure there were other hardships that came about that her presence and just her speaking to someone help them finish or get through because it's not easy. It's as an HBCU alum, it's not easy. And sometimes we need that extra push and that extra support that's personal and not just from a distance. But it makes a difference when people can see your face and they know your story because it matters. It definitely matters. How about you, Miss Short?
So you just said something about a presence. So Dr. Dunlap's presence, her purse, her push, all of that got the students through. And this scholarship will help us, as a department because we know, STEM is pushed. STEAM is not pushed. So that arts, it will help us to be more self-sufficient in providing for the students. I love, Stacie, what you said about students who are curious because you do have parents saying, well, I'm not willing to pay for that. Well, if we can provide that and help you through and nurture you through that, that's what this scholarship can do. Also, it's a wonderful, wonderful way to just give back because Shirley gave to so many. As Symphony said, if you've been in a show, if you've been in a reading, if she did everything, she's done costuming for you, just anything, from groups like children. Yeah, help me, guys. The age and COVID brain. Singing sensations. Woo, they're sensational. I mean, children, they're children who grew up. Symphony, children who just grew up under her and she included them in things. They ended up on stage. There are children in this world, and someone will tell you because Dr. Dunlap said, here, come here. Let me talk to you. Let me talk to your mate. You need to relax. Let's try this. And she made a space for people. People felt safe. They felt loved. They felt nurtured. So whether this was on the stage, backstage, side stage, wherever it is, this is a beautiful opportunity to say thank you, in her memory.
Right.
It we don't hear a lot about stuff like this, especially sometimes if somebody does transition on or move on, their name gets brought up, especially if they have a good family system and a good support system at that workplace. But in the art, sometimes our people don't really get the acknowledgement and the support that they need to keep that legacy going. Many of them have done some great work. When you hear about Morgan, you know about Nathan Carter, you know about Shirley Basfield Dunlap, like you know these names, but they don't often get the recognition that they need to keep that momentum going, not just for the sake of their name, but their work.
Right.
All that work would have gone to the wayside if this type of programming or foundation wasn't started in her name to keep that momentum going and to encourage other professors to lend their name and their efforts to a cause that's bigger than them. You know, does anybody have any good story or memory of Miss Dunlap that they want to share?
We'll be on for 2 days. This my first couple of stories. I will tell you that, as everybody knows, my birth name is Tracy, and I think she probably would go home and probably call Stacie crazy because she would call me Stacie half of the day, and then we would chat when I'd be like that. Would you? Do you know your name? And so that's like one of the funniest things. So when I finally started bonding with Stacie, I was like, we're God sisters because you've been me and I've been you, and I feel like that time she put into the students was the same kind of time and love she put into our family. So that's kind of how now Stacie and I actually, like, we didn't hang out or spend a lot of time when her mom was here, but as her mom transitioned, I feel like that's my connection. As Stacie ages, she starts to look more and more like her mother, especially girl.
Yeah.
So I feel like I still have that connection. And I feel like that theater piece, and so Stacie comes and she supports my shows and things. So I feel like she still feels like that's a part of her mom that's in me. And I think that's the most significant story that's happening, because I feel like with that drive and like you said, to let that legacy live on. I can drop her name all the time and people know her without actually living and doing it. You know, there's doors that she basically kicked open years ago that I'm still benefiting from today. And that's most impactful to me because stuff she told me, and okay, this is one of her long sermons because she used to give you very sermons. I listened, but I'm now understanding what they mean in the place of the spirit that I heard today. And so I'm so grateful that she was not only an artist, but also a teacher and a loving nurturer, like you said, in the HBCUs. That's something that we get. We get that extra hug, sometimes a kick in the butt. So all of that I got from her, it's now helping me where I am now. And so at that time, you know, like any parent or person over you, you feel like, oh my God, this is a lot. This is too much. And like, for instance, to make it make sense, I used to be like, this is just free labor. She would say, okay, you know, you look real nice on stage, you look nice and cute, but they're not always want to see your face or always hear your beautiful voice. Like, what do you know about backstage and upstage and on the catwalk? And I would just be like, they're just using us to get this free labor done. They don't want to pay any lighting people. They don't want to get any construction workers. I'm not a construction. And out of all of that, my first checks, my biggest checks are always from me having to turn on the lights, plug in a microphone, you know, put some spike tape down. It is never for me being on stage and being seen and heard. And that's what I came to Morgan to be, seen and heard. It's like, that's not always the answer. And back then you don't understand it. But then when you actually get out there and start working, you're like, oh yeah, no, I do tech. I don't act, I do tech. You know, because the checks are bigger and opportunities are there if you really work. And I didn't realize how important it was until I was in spaces with only singers and only actors and only dancers. And then they didn't get the role, and neither did I, but I always got on the show because I was able to work another aspect of it. And that was from Morgan. You know, Miss Short, everybody there was all about, you need to know every aspect before you leave here. And that was the toughest part, but it's the most beneficial to my life today.
Right.
That needs to be said often. Somebody who I look at as a friend and mentor now, Troy Burton, says that a lot. And it was how I was raised up at Coppin as well. I think we had James Brown and Amini, and, you know, it was nothing for them to say, hey, you're not always going to get the role. Go backstage and learn something different. Learn how to flip a wig or, you know, do something. But don't just sit here and watch other people doing it. and that, like you said, we have definitely ate because of those extra skill sets. Before we got to check for being active.
Yep.
But I definitely am just excited that something is happening, no
Yes.
matter when it started, but something is happening so we can begin to name the other names and give
Yes.
legacy, credit, and support to their names as well. So, because this is, politically, they're trying to stop this.
Right.
And many of us, we wouldn't have made it anywhere else. I did some work at, I'm not going to say the name too many times, but Towson, and but they had hardship, and they had all the resources, but still wasn't looked at, and they didn't have that nurturing until certain people like Roz Coughing and some
Yes.
people like that came through and supported them. But it really does mean a lot to me that I didn't even know all this was. But as soon as I saw like what it was for, it was nothing for me to say, let me lend at least my platform for you all to promote it and support it. But what do you want people to expect from this event, and not just the event, because the giving doesn't stop just on that day, but what do you want people to know, or the information in terms of giving?
Well, so we are hoping this is not the first and the last. This will be an annual or semi-annual, because like you said, we have to keep this going. We have to keep her name alive. We have to keep her legacy, her work alive. So there's several ways that people can give, of course, by coming and partying with us. We would love for you to do that. Tickets are on Eventbrite. They are $60, which, this is a fundraiser. So the funds go to the scholarship. Also, we have a souvenir booklet. So if folks want to, let's say, shout out their business, their students, their friends, just say thank you to Dr. Dunlap and have it in writing and keep this so they can go back and say, hey, I was a part of this. I'm a product of, what she helped to create. So we have those, that information's on Facebook, Instagram, Eventbrite. It's everywhere. We're walking door to door, business to business. We're wearing t-shirts.
So I have it on my page, so I'm gonna definitely put it, and it's in the description of this video too. The information, the link to Eventbrite. Beyond the patron ads, and of course people buy the ticket to this, how would you like for people to contact you if they wanted to, say, send a check, or sponsor it, or sponsor next year's? How would somebody get in contact with the
They can
support?
email me at janice.short@morgan.edu, or they can give me a call at 443-885-3665. Or 2201, I think that's our address, Argonne Drive. That's the Murphy Fine Arts Center. We're on the second floor. They can drop by.
And I'm gonna put it also on the YouTube that's showing this as well. But that's the Eventbrite link that you can click on, and all the information. What is it for? All that information in terms of the address and stuff she gave you is all listed in the description of the Eventbrite, in the description section of the Eventbrite page. But what can we expect from? I know you don't want to give it all away, but what can we expect from the event?
Performances. So talked about performances, tribute performances. So we have performances in the theater. We have some in the lobby. We've got some good food. Some of it I can't even pronounce, by Chef Jeffrey. We had a DJ Classics is coming. So we're going to bring your party shoes. We have mocktails that you probably wouldn't know the difference. So you'd still be celebrating like it wasn't a mocktail.
So this is a theater festival, basically.
Yes, basically.
Okay.
So if it's in the style of Dr. Shirley Basfield Dunlap, it's got to be grand. So
yes, and Nate, I know Nate is a maker, so they're having a contest actually. When you, because it's a masquerade thing. So if you have an original mask that you created, and you have opportunity to win that title, win something great. And I know
I already started.
Uh-oh.
See,
I've
that's what I'm
already
saying.
started.
I don't even
Like
want to
I'm not even gonna show it to y'all, but just know I've already started.
Yeah, so if there's any other makers out there, come on out, challenge Nate. See if you can get the title from Nate.
I was going like show, but I'm not even, because I know Symphony is a crafter herself, so I don't want to give her
Yes,
no
she
ideas.
is.
So challenge.
I'm gonna be too busy focusing on my performance. I don't think I'm gonna have to wear one of them Amazon ones.
How has the school at large been supportive of this event?
We've had some our art department has been awesome. Eric Briscoe, who's the coordinator of visual arts, actually created this shirt.
Mhm.
Tell a real quick story about this image. So
Can you, because we see a little bit of it.
so it's the same one that's on. There we go.
Oh
Okay.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
Here. So we were just down. Like we were not expecting this, and it was hard. It was like we were just crawling around, and I guess Eric just knew. So one day he called me up. He was like, "Hey, I got something for you," and I was like, "Yeah, okay, I guess I'll be in," because I think we were on break. And then finally one day I came, and he just said, come in the office. So we went in the admin's office, and he just turned around, and I just looked at it, and I just walked out because it felt like Shirley. Now, if you know Shirley would have if she would do that hum, and I swear the portrait went And so we hung it in the window of the office, and we would go down and talk to her. We're like, see, you see her eyes? She's happy about that. Or, oh no, she doesn't agree with that. And we would swear Shirley's eyes were moving back and forth. And this silhouette on the side of Shirley was a really, really pleasant memory. Homecoming one year, she loved the band.
go
Loved her tutu.
Yes.
So we were mid-sentence, and the band struck up, and she said, "Oh!" And she had her finger in the air, just like the drum major. And the actual picture that I took has the drum major and her in the same stance. So when I see that, I just hear that music just kind of in her spirit, and just that dance. So that's where this came from. I don't even know where I was going, Nate. I don't know where I was going with
down
that.
memory lane, and it's sometimes, and that's just like that's a Dr. D thing. Sometimes she goes and she takes you, and then she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "What? You telling me something?"
Right, I don't
I
know.
was following you.
Nate, are you muted?
We can't hear you, Nate.
Muted myself. The ambulance was going by. I muted myself. But Mama Jackie made a statement about her extension going far beyond Maryland, and knowing that she was not simply a theater professor, but she was a regional director. She traveled.
Yeah.
She took on the work, and it's just so much you could say about her. Like I'm gonna have to have some more Morganites come on after this to really talk more about her in depth, because we really did. Y'all had a lovely memorial and love fest for her, but I feel like it's still not enough to the amount of work and the people that she's touched. Like, a Morgan theater student when you see them. They don't even have to open their mouth. Just their way of working and their process is definitely in line with her teaching. And it's thankful to the whole department, but a Dunlap student when you see one. It's definitely apparent.
And I think that's something that, I don't know how to explain that, because I worked with Charlene. She's definitely a Dr. Dunlap baby, and she worked with me on my MFA project. And it's like times I would just look at her, the way she would be looking at things, and I would be like, "Ooh, but she snapped a picture of me, because when I was directing, I was just taking it in. I was looking, and she snapped a picture of me and sent it to my phone and said, "You look like Dr. Dunn." And it was really great, because sometimes she would be so into it that you would think she didn't like it, because she would like it so smirky kind of love. And I had that, and I was like, "Woo, girl." And I said, "I don't even know what I was thinking." She was telling me what was happening at the time, And I said, well, I didn't take pictures of you, but in your telling them about the choreography, I saw that. And she was just like, yeah, she's with us. Like, she's never left. And, you know, she was very much into speaking with the ancestors and having them in the space. So, you know, I'm now able to do that. And something real quick, Nate. I hate to get off camera, but I got to show y'all something.
So this is
That's
Holland
my aunt.
Yes.
That's my aunt and my mother,
Oh,
Dr.
Enid.
Dunlap's sister, youngest sister.
Oh, okay.
Enid Holland, yep.
So this is something that I've
Move
kept.
it over some. Move
Over
it over the other
other
way.
way. Yep.
There you go, right there.
So this
Move
was
it up,
from.
move it back some. Move it
This
back
is
some.
one of. Move it back.
Yeah,
Yes.
right there.
This is one of my favorite pictures, and this was like on the memorial part. This has always been on my refrigerator since her passing. And it just was a thank you from the family for the cards, the flowers, and all of the donations and the kind expressions and sympathy. And so on the back, it looks like this. But Dr. Dunlap knew that I love stationery. So for every show, she was a postcard junkie.
Yes.
Like I have like Zora Neale Hurston postcards and just Sidney Poitier, all of these beautiful postcards. But she didn't know it when that was what she was into. So my first show and getting postcards in your dressing room, stuck there with a beautiful note. So this is something that I've kept on my refrigerator. I talk to her all the time, especially about my theater moments. And I'm just like, you left. But I always know that she left me with so much that it's just like, I just don't get to have her here in the flesh. But I understand, and my mind always flashes back to a lot of the lessons taught to me then that she would tell me, like, you need to remember this because about 15, 20 years down the line, you're going to need this information. And she would always say, now that you know this information, what you going to do with it?
What you gonna do
And
with
so
it?
that's
What
how,
you gonna do with it?
I will never forget that. And that's how I weigh a lot of my decisions. I ask myself that, like, okay, now you know this information. What are you going to do with this information? So this is like still in mint condition. All of my postcards are, but this is the one that's been in my refrigerator. And I just love this. This was like a perfect headshot. And her in her prime, like in that, you see how young she looked on here. And it's always been something. I was always attracted to this picture. So when the family had it on this, I was like, yes, I get to have this picture because it would be in her office. So I was like, I have my very own copy of this. And it definitely means a lot to me as a student, because some people might have been like, oh, this is just really nice. But to know that I've received dozens of postcards from her with different people, singers, and just professionals in the arts, black, very much centered on blacks in the arts. And so it means so much. And as you said, more students have heard of her. But I'm feeling like it should be, and then this is just me. I'll teach the course if I need to. But I
Right.
a Dr. Shirley Basfield Dunlap course in theater. Just informational to give you nuggets and things that they'll never get because they didn't come across that. And so I've always thought about that. And you know, it's just something that's been in me. Like it's robbery almost. But you do have teachers, Janice Short there, you have Mr. Cook and people that knew her.
Yes.
Carry some of those things over to those students. And so I think there is a connection that's missing. And I think this scholarship is going to be the key. Because especially if we're gathering past students with current students and we're trying to put them through financially. And I'm hoping that the city of Baltimore does more about it. Like I'm going to reach out to, you know, Mayor Scott and say, hey, you know, this is what's happening. Can our office do anything? Like, you know, you guys believe in arts in the city and you're trying to bring Baltimore back to what it was. I am the epitome of that. You know, starting out elementary school and really see where Baltimore was, and then having all these greats, and just really connecting to the community a little bit more about it. Because as you said, people know a name, but what are they really doing to keep that name going? And so I think that I want to be like some type of street community type outreach person to really, you know, that's the role that I'm giving myself. Nobody hired me. I'm just an outside person. I want to talk to the community and ask the community to fund this, you know.
Yeah. And she was such a part of the community, and something that was so beautiful that she did started from when I was a student. So when I was at Morgan. Literally, I called Shirley mom, my other mother. So I was very privileged to with Stacie and Wesley, her son, and Enid, and everybody to become. She entrusted and trusted me to be a part of her family and nurtured me like that. But she also didn't just share her family; she shared her connections.
Yeah.
So the community. I met so many artists in the community because of her. She would have them be a part of productions, so it was sort of rare where we had a production where it was just all students and all theater students. It was either someone that she was collaborating with across campus or somewhere in the community. So it's
Yeah.
like we just always wonder, well, who are we going to meet this time? Or who we get to
Yeah.
work with this time? And that kind of love, like Symphony, you talked about it. Some of it was tough love. I just always remember her figure it out. She would put
I
me
thought that was the only type of love
yeah,
I could get from a theater
right.
teacher.
Figure it out. That's like,
Mhm,
well, you trust me enough, so you must see something in me that you would trust me to
mhm,
do that because you're not gonna put me with like a Ossie Davis or a Rosalind Cash and just say, figure it out. Okay, I got it. I
mhm,
know what's expected of me, and you carried yourself that way.
mhm. So,
Yeah.
And
for you, Stacie, can you share some of that stuff that we didn't get to see? Because it looks like we got so much of our heart, but I know it was a lot left over for you all. Can you speak to that perspective?
Yeah, so it's really interesting. My mother as an educator, that is something that I took on too. So I'm still actually in my classroom like as we speak. And I am a career changer. So I didn't grow up in the classroom, but one of the things that my mother did was she brought her work home, whether it was students or whether it was, she was working on a production or something. And so just being exposed to that myself, and my brother and our family, that it's just something that I embody to the point where it's like I wanted to have that level of impact. I wanted to have that influence. I wanted to have that connection with students where they appreciated and they enjoyed and they loved everything that I exposed them to because I made it interesting. I brought it to life. I made it seem as if this is not something that you want. This is something that you need. And so I think it's very important for me to be able to say that tough love, those nuggets, those figure it out, like that was my everyday,
Mhm,
and it's not until, she used to say stuff like lie down with dogs and get fleas, and I'd be like, I don't have any dogs around me, mom, what are you talking about? But then it's like you get older and it's like, oh, I
mhm,
shouldn't have been hanging out with that little trifling lady. It's like you
mhm.
you you figure things out, but she puts it out there for you to get it. And then when you get it, it's like you never forget it.
Yeah.
Um, and so it's really important for me to memorialize her, to continue her legacy through the scholarship or just through me, through our family. My youngest cousin is an artist, inspired by my mother. He graduated from Parsons. He's exposed to, the art world. I myself still go to the theater. I've even exposed my fiance. Like we go to shows all the time. So it's just something that was not only something that she brought to the classroom, but she brought it home. And so I
Mhm.
continue to live that and enjoy it and make it a part of my lifestyle because, it's just really who I am. It was who she is and who she was. And so now it's like, this is me now. They call me little
Yeah.
Shirley. So, but I've really enjoyed just being a part of the experience, seeing the students come out, show out, seeing, Miss Janice continue her work through the department, and then us really trying to keep her legacy alive through the scholarship or, through whatever programs that we're trying to do. I think it's really, really important to me and also my family that we just allow my mother to um, not really lose sight of what she was trying to do when she was here. She had a lot of unfinished business. And I feel like everyone has just really picked up the pieces and just, kept it moving. Because it's just, we know what she was working for and working towards. And it was a shared vision, so it wasn't just her that wanted this to happen. It was everyone. And whether it's through the alumni or through the current faculty, this is something that we really want to continue to see move forward, because the direction that she wanted Morgan to go was a shared vision. So everyone really wants and sees Morgan moving in that direction. So everyone is really coming together to make that and bring that into fruition.
That's. I mean, you said a lot, and I don't think it falling on deaf ears, and it really matters, because for me to know her, that shows you that her love went beyond that East Baltimore corridor of Morgan State University. It went beyond that, and I've seen her personally, done work with her, and seen her give that guidance and that love to all artists in Baltimore, not just the ones that even look like her, but just anybody who asked her something. My last interview with her, something happened in her travels where it got sticky and she couldn't get back to the city to be in the studio like she was supposed to, but she made a way. She found the phone and got on the phone, and it was turbulence, but she definitely made a way. And that's just an example of her dedication to her word and doing what she says she gonna do for you, and not taking any shorts from you either. Like, not expecting you to do your best, as because she's going to show up and do hers. So I'm just excited. I'm really excited, and I definitely want to rehash this again and get back into the conversation beyond this. And I've always told you, Miss Short, like, as I told her, like, whenever you need something in terms of what I can help you with, don't ever hesitate, because stuff like this needs to be promoted. I'm tired of hearing about the number of deaths and murders and this and that happening in the city, and we don't get enough of this, especially from our Black arts community. A lot of the great stuff that's happening, a lot of the great work that's happening, legacy building work, doesn't get the attention that it deserves from even the art higher ups in this city. So I want to see the Maryland State Arts Council show up for you, so on and so forth. BOPA, because she worked for many of them and got a lot of
Cultural Alliance.
Yes, I want to see all of them show up, and I'm going to tag them all in this and say this to them, like, where are you on the program? Like, what are you going to do in support of this? Because she definitely supported all of those programs, mom and pop ones, all the neighborhood art programs. She was, in some way, if it wasn't her sending one of her students, it was her showing up. So what are they doing? Come on, arts districts, where you at? Black arts district, where you at? Sorry, I get a little excited. But beyond that, can you reiterate, can you tell us again where we can get tickets? I have the link in the thing, but all the levels of support that you are looking for.
So, like you said, any level, show up, offer something, even if not, it's beyond a ticket. Can we help you sell tickets? Can we come? Can we participate? We can give a tribute. We'd love to buy something in the souvenir booklet. Can we come and offer something to the students? Any of that. Tickets to the theater. Can we help expose the students in the program? All of this, because like you said, these are things that Shirley did for others.
So, I mean, with that being said, tell us the date again. Tell us the time, the location. We know where to get the tickets, but give us that information so people don't forget.
September the 28th, which is a Saturday, so you got time. Get cute. You got all day to get cute. So September the 28th, and it's at 7 p.m. at the Murphy Fine Arts Center.
It's gonna be a theater festival, y'all.
Yes,
so
don't
sleep on it. Get you some rest the next couple weeks. Save some coins up, because I know it's gonna be something you can buy, something you can support, something you can donate. Get your mask done, because I'm coming for you. That's all. So I'm definitely been happy to have you all. here today, and anything I can do to support you, definitely, you know, send me out that sheet. I can put some coins together, get a patron in there. So tell me what needs to be done, and I'm gonna push it out for you as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Symphony.
Thank you,
Thank you, Miss
Nate.
Stacie. I'm happy to meet you, and just
Nice
send
to
your
meet
love,
you
my love
too.
to your family and your siblings.
Thank you.
Were part of a legacy that is
Thank
beyond her, beyond you all, and beyond all of us. So thank you again for coming and joining
Thank
us.
you for having
Thank you,
me.
Miss Symphony. Thank you, Miss Short, for following through. And like I said, anything I can do within reason, because I'm still a broke college student at heart. But just let me know whatever it is, and we will make it happen.
Yeah.
We're gonna put our change together, Nate. Don't worry.
Yes, come on, jingle, 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 jingle. But thank you all. Thank you all for supporting this. Please share it out. It was a lot of love, and it's so much. This was just a mere morsel of love, I'm sure. And that day is probably going to be filled to the brim of that building with love and admiration for all that she's done. And I'm calling out all those art organizations, all those big time rollers, all them people that's always looking for a ticket sale. This is your opportunity to give back to someone who definitely was about her community and about the young people. So come on, let's support this cause.
Absolutely.
Thank you, ladies, again. And without further notice, this has been the Artist Exchange. Don't forget, we come on every Wednesday at 8 p.m. now. A little slight change of time, but we'll be back every Wednesday at 8 p.m. So if you want to be a guest, come on, come share your story, come share your work, your upcoming events and such. And thank you all. Peace out, people.
Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Artist